Hey gang, it's Claude back in the tiny kitchen, and right now we're going to talk about popcorn. Everybody loves popcorn, right? You love popcorn. You take the little package, you put it in the microwave, bip, 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 and away you go. 5 minutes later, popcorn. No, you monster! Don't do that. That stuff's terrible. First, let's face it, it tastes like paraffin. B, okay, the stuff that they put in it will kill you. I mean, literally, I've got a relative who works in a place where they make the seasoning and stuff that they put into the microwave popcorn, and those guys have to wear hazmat suits, I kid you not, to work in the same room with the microwave popcorn seasoning. Just stay away from it. Regular popcorn is like stupidly easy to make. It really is. And we're going to make some popcorn in just a couple of minutes because it doesn't take any longer to do regular popcorn than it does to do microwave popcorn. I swear, I promise. Let me tell you, by the way, Pampered Chef has a microwave popper where you put the popcorn in and you cover it up and you put it into the microwave and you let it run for a few minutes. Those things work great. I have one. I have it at work. Unfortunately, I can't use it right now because it's at work. School's closed. But I can still make regular popcorn, okay? So, here's what we're going to need. Now, some people like to use fancy gizmos, and I'm kind of one of them when it comes to popcorn because I'm a little bit of a snob about it. And they'll use this guy here, all right? So you got this pot here, which has a big funky handle and some gears up here and a stirring rod underneath. And what you do is you put the popcorn in there and you turn the stirring rod and it pushes the popcorn around and pops it pretty quickly. And this is a very lightweight pan, so the pan itself heats up fast, and that's kind of neat. But you don't really need this. This goes for about somewhere between $25 and $30, depending on where you buy it from. And there are several different brands of that available. No, you can just use your basic regular pot, all right, and a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, butter if you like. That's okay too. Not the most healthy thing for you, but it's a treat, right? Anyway, that guy with the cranky thing, that makes about a gallon of popcorn. This is a 3-quart pot, so we're going to make just a little bit less. Now, here's one of the secrets to decent popcorn, all right? You can use regular oil in your popcorn. It'll work fine. Don't use olive oil, but you can use, canola, vegetable, corn oil, whatever you like in that case. But you want really good popcorn? Here's the secret. You ready? You ready? You ready? Okay. Coconut oil. Use coconut oil. Now, I have some coconut oil that I purchased from a popcorn supply house and that kind of thing. So it's colored yellow with a little beta carotene, and they say they put a little butter flavor in it. I don't know. Anything that has butter flavor in it, I'm not necessarily buying that it has butter flavor, but okay. There is some stuff that you can buy in the supermarket, and it goes all right with the stuff that I do at work that I, sprinkle on top after the microwave has done its thing. That's not bad. It still doesn't taste much like butter then, though. Pampered Chef does have a couple of toppings that are made for popcorn that look really exciting. I'm definitely going to be trying those guys out from this party. But this is coconut. That's all this really is. It's coconut oil and a little bit of coloring in this particular case. Now, the thing about coconut oil is that at room temperature, it's pretty thick stuff. And it is thicker even than room temperature butter. It's very hard, and it will stick to practically everything. So my solution, and I've already done this, is to just stick it in the microwave for about 15 seconds just to soften it up. And now we take our Pampered Chef measuring spoon. All right, and this is the adjustable one. They have adjustables and they have non-adjustables. And actually, I have more than one of these. I have this one, and then I have an old school one, which is all white. And because I like to have more than one measuring spoon on hand. Sometimes I'm mixing clean and dirty. I don't want to use the dirty one, so I get another one out. Sometimes it's just a matter of measuring all my wet stuff versus measuring all my dry stuff. But anyway, so this has been softened up, as I said, and I'm going to take about a tablespoon of my coconut oil. Now, if you're going to use regular oil, you're going to need a little bit more. All right. My basic rule is you pour in just enough to just about cover the bottom of the pan. And that's going to be closer to 2 or 3 tablespoons. All right. The good thing about this is even though at room temperature, it's pretty solid stuff. All right. Once it goes in the pan, it's melting pretty fast. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to take popcorn salt. All right. And what I usually use is this stuff here. It's called Flavor Call, which you can get in most of your big box stores like your Sam's or your Costco or your BJ's, that kind of thing. Or you can order it online. You can get it through Amazon and popcorn suppliers and that kind of thing. And I just put it in a regular salt shaker. I keep it separate and throw it in there. But I tried this stuff, which is called Snappy, and this is pretty good too. So I've been using this for the last little while. And this, I put in ahead of time. And again, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. Okay, and now I'm turning my heat on, and I'm going to about 7.5 out of 10. And I'm going to show you the bottom. All right, so that's what it looks like. You got the salt down there. You've got, in this case, this is a tablespoon of the coconut oil. And you see how it's spread out. It got really thin, but it is indeed covering the entire bottom of the pan. And now we need popcorn. So, popcorn. Going to get my Pampered Chef adjustable measuring cup. This is old school, okay, and that's why it's a little bit looser than the new ones. And I recognize that some of my Pampered Chef stuff is a little bit on the older side because I've been a customer for a long time. And they've modernized, they've changed stuff, they've improved stuff. I know, for instance, that my sprayers look very different from what they have in the catalog now. They look sleek in the catalog. Man, I might have to get some just to get an updated look. I got myself a big bag of popping corn here. And by the way, you know, this is much more cost effective than buying the microwave corn. I don't even know what microwave corn costs now. It's like, you know, several bucks for a box that only serves like, you know, 4 or 5 bags up. And that's ridiculous when you can spend much less money, get 1.5 pounds of regular popping corn, and now it's like all DIY. And I'm going to give myself a generous 1/2 cup of popcorn for this pot. I could probably put a little bit more in, but I'm not greedy and I'm not especially hungry. Now, when you're doing in the pan, we're going to throw about 3 kernels down there. All right, and put that lid on. And we're going to wait for those 3 kernels to pop, and that's when you know that the oil is pretty much up to speed as far as the popping is concerned. We can close that up to put away. We can close this up to put it away. The advantage of having a clear lid is that you can see what's going on inside the pan. Because let me tell you a story. When my mom was a little kid, my grandfather got curious about what popcorn looked like when it was popping. He picked up the lid, a little bit of oil went clean across the room, hit my mother square in the eye. She had a little red mark on her eye to the day she died. And he even had no idea what had gone on because she was so far across the room. 2 of my 3 kernels have popped, and that's pretty good. Third one is kind of like sitting there. Oh, there goes the number 3. So we're going to throw that in there, cover it up, and we're going to start shifting it around. Now, there's a couple of reasons that we're moving. Whoops, I didn't have the grip I thought I did. Couple of reasons that we're moving the popcorn around. First is to get it all coated up with the oil and the salt too. Okay. But once the kernels start popping, you want to start shifting it around, because what happens is as the kernels start popping, they're going to take some of those unpopped kernels and carry them up. And what you want to do is shake that pan so that they fall back down, because they're still heavier than the big guys. So, let's see what happens here. In the meantime, I can start to straighten up a little bit here. All right, popping action is starting now. Give it a shake. See, you don't have to go crazy. You can shake it, let it go, shake it, let it go. No big deal. I also have a weird suspicion that my stove burner is kind of hotter on one side than the other. That's just a suspicion. It's completely irrational, but it's true. All right, this is going good. I'm going to give you a look. All right, there's my popcorn. in the pot, bouncing around. And it's starting to smell like something. I can tell because the dog is in the next room looking at me like waiting for me to throw him something. All right, this is about the point where you want to be a little bit more diligent about shaking it around. So A, you want some of those unpopped guys to fall to the bottom. And B, you don't want the pop stuff to spend too much time on the bottom of the pan because it could burn a little bit. Although, maybe slightly burned popcorn is your thing. It's my wife's thing. It's not my thing. But once in a while, when I'm a nice guy, I let some of them burn just for her. Because that's the kind of guy I am. That shaking the pot's probably going to look really weird when it renders. All right, and you know you're about through when, just like the microwave, it's down to a couple of seconds in between each individual pop. And we're getting pretty close there. So I'm actually going to shut off the heat, let the last few cruise through, and move it to a cold burner. All right, the other thing, you want to remove the lid, let all that steam out. Okay, but keep it on loose because you still got the occasional, there it goes, unpopped kernel suddenly deciding it's going to go. Now, if you choose to put butter on it, this isn't quite the time to put it on. You got to wait a minute or two, all right? The reason to wait a minute or two is because if you put the butter on right away, hot butter on the freshly popped popcorn, you still got some of that steam trying to escape. The popcorn gets chewy. You don't want that. Let it sit for a minute. All right, let's take it out of here into the bowl. All right, I am not going to put butter on this, but I will tell you a little bit about putting butter on your popcorn. And if you look, by the way, look at that, practically nothing in there. No oil, almost no salt. It's all in the popcorn. Beauty. So you melt the butter. For something about this size, you usually have roughly half a stick, maybe a little bit more depending on how much butter you like. You don't want it too greasy though. And I like to put it in Pampered Chef prep bowl because the prep bowl has the lid. You can put the lid on nice and loose. This will hold, whoops, this will hold roughly a stick of butter. It's supposed to be a 1 cup measure, but or not in a 1 cup. It's supposed to be a 6 ounce measure, but it does hold a cup of butter. So you put it on loosely, put it in the microwave. The reason you want a lid on it is because butter, when it's in the microwave, it tends to explode because the water starts boiling and it gets all over the inside of the microwave. Nobody likes that. Well, maybe you like that, but I don't like it. So I'm not doing it. Cover it up just a little bit, put it in there. It also seems to melt a little bit faster, and you can take it out on top of your popcorn, right? And like I said, don't forget to wait at least a minute, maybe even 2, before you put it on top of your popcorn. And, hey, that's so good. I'm a wizard. Once in a while, you might decide, maybe I didn't put enough salt on. This is a good time to put a little bit more on if you so choose. I think I did all right with this one. So, that's popcorn. How easy was that, right? All right. That's it for now. We got it all done. Easy peasy, no problem. Bon appetit. Enjoy your popcorn. Wash your palms. Be good. I'll talk to you soon.